It's amazing what great lengths God will go to for one life. I mean, quite possibly the entire reason we came to Thailand for 4 years was for this child.
Yeah.
That's how much God values life.
Yeah.
And it's easy to be pro-life, but it's a whole lot harder to do something about that.
Yeah.
So
put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly.
Right? Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think God just, he did what he needed to do in our hearts to get us to that point. I mean, this isn't a story about how amazing we are. It's God moving in our hearts and really us just following him. And so he opened the way, and so we walked through the open door.
You gotta live it, you gotta love it. Testimony goes on and on and on. It's magnetic, it's prophetic, it's God's stories being told.
Hey, welcome back to the Jesus Magnet. I'm your host, Joel, and today we've got Skyler on the show. How you doing, Skyler?
Doing great, Joel. Good to be here.
It's good to have you. Skyler's, for our listeners, is one of our closer friends in Thailand that we connected pretty quick once we got here. Well, once we started going to Victory Church.
Yeah.
And him and his wife, Alyssa, and his son, Malachi, middle name Zion, which was really cool because Zion's our son's name, and obviously that was in the close running for a first name.
Yeah. Malachi was? Or Zion?
Well, Malachi was for us as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Laura really liked the nickname Kai for Malachi, but it didn't make it into the final edit, so to speak. But Zion ended up winning, but it's funny because you've got Malachi Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
Was Zion in the running for a first name? Or you always liked it as a middle name?
I think we maybe considered it a little bit. It's been a few years, so I can't quite remember. But yeah. Yeah, we had a few, but yeah, that when we came up with those two, it just, we were convinced.
That's awesome. Malachi Zion, it's a strong, they sound like names that need to be put together, you know?
Yeah. And the reason we chose Malachi was because the name means God's messenger, or messenger of God. So that's why we wanted to name him that, is because hopefully it's prophetic.
Yeah, totally. And I love how you called it Zion as well, because Zion means the place where God dwells. So he's not only the messenger, but he's where God dwells, which is pretty cool. There's Mount Zion, and it's pretty cool, which is funny because if Zion, my son, and your son, Malachi, if they start hanging out when they're a bit older, every single time that we just call them both, your son's going to think he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be, Malachi Zion!
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, oh no, you've used my middle name as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Did that happen to you when you were kids?
Use both names?
If they used your middle name, do you have a middle name?
Yeah.
If they use your middle name, you're more in trouble.
Oh, yeah,
it's like
definitely.
the wind up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How many middle names have you got?
Just one.
Oh,
yeah.
I got 3.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I think my parents were like, the wind up. I was also extra bad. I was a really painful kid and a more painful teenager. So when I was in trouble, they kind of needed the extra names to emphasize, to get my attention. Joel, Christopher, Jordan, John.
Wow.
Get down here now.
Yeah. So they were planning this.
Oh, yeah. It was they knew. Just right from pregnancy, maybe. It was like, this is a bad egg. Nah. It's the real reason is because I'm the youngest. And my parents were not going to have any more kids. And my mum wanted to use all the names that she had stored away. Yeah. So,
nice. Well, I'm the youngest too, so put it there.
I mean, I think, are you also the oldest?
No.
I think kids are like pancakes, First one's a little a little iffy, but as the more you make them, the better they get.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you nailed it with my family.
No, it's good. So which part of the States are you from?
So we're kind of based or sent out of Michigan, southern Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say you're sent out, so you're sent out as missionaries.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. And what was it that kind of attracted you to Thailand?
So, yeah, I guess I'll have to back up quite a few years.
Yeah.
So, the first time I came to Thailand, I had never been out of North America before. And so
True.
when I landed here, I mean, it felt like I was on Mars. But so, yeah, just totally different culture.
So how old were you when you first left the country?
I was 20.
20. Yeah, I mean, that's a major culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the good thing about the US is you guys have such a variety of cultures in your one country.
Mm-hmm.
You got rednecks, and then you got
Yeah.
city folks, and you got everything.
Mm-hmm.
Melting pot.
Yeah.
Just in the American culture,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool. But the Thai culture, the heat,
Mm-hmm.
big shock.
Yeah. So I came in the hottest part of the year, and it was the hottest year they had in like 10 years or something. I can't remember. It was horrible.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, I landed here in April, which it was spring in the U.S. So, but it was, as hot as it's going to get in Thailand when I got here. So, and I had no AC. So,
What?
yeah, that was kind of my reaction too. But yeah, it was rough. So
Why? Why no AC?
So the place I was going to, it's called IGO, Institute for Global Opportunities, and it's like a kind of like a missions training center, and just kind of exposes you to different cultures and teaches you what missions is. And through that, they wanted us to, experience the heat. You're not guaranteed to have AC everywhere you go. So that was their stance on it. Their hill to die on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. The heat's brutal here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something. I don't know. Like I don't think I could do that. I mean, not as a. There'd have to be a reason, not just to. You need to suffer because you've had it too good.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a serious adjustment though. I remember waking up in the middle of the night just like roasting, because you could put a fan on you, but it was just like sitting in a hairdryer.
Yeah.
Like, so I'd wake up, like splash water on myself or try not to go crazy. So it didn't go below 100 degrees for like 30 days.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know what that is because I work with Celsius. But
What did I say?
100?
Yeah. So it was probably 39. I don't know what that is.
Wow. Yeah. 39. Yeah. That sounds pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always get confused with that too. Celsius and Fahrenheit, and yeah.
I have never ever tried to figure out Fahrenheit. Every time somebody says 100 and whatever, or 68 or whatever it is, it's like that sounds, I don't know if that's like, there's nothing that I could figure out if that's hot or cold. I would have no idea. Actually, I believe it's minus 40 is the same in Celsius as Fahrenheit. Something like that. There's a random number which is actually the same temperature.
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's minus 40. It's a minus something, and it's the same temperature.
Yeah.
Somehow our numbers overlap.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So you're doing this missions training, brutal, in the heat.
Yeah.
For how many months?
So I was there for a total of 8 months. The first, I only committed to 4 months on the front end because I thought that was an eternity.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to commit to 4. But once I got here, I started making friends, and I was like, okay, I think I want to stay for the next stint.
Yeah.
So
what is this organization? You said they train you?
yeah, they just kind of train you, and you study like world religions, different books of the Bible, and just like it's intense. Like you have 4 courses, I think it is, like 4 different topics per term, and a term is three weeks. And then after every 3 weeks, you go on a ministry trip, and they'll send you kind of all over the world.
A weekend or a week or
the trip?
Yeah,
like a week.
A week.
Mm-hmm.
So you do probably like 4?
Yeah, 4 per semester. So
yeah,
I would have done a total of 8.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool.
And there's one or two that you stay in Thailand. You just go to a different part of Thailand.
Because I did Youth with a Mission, and they do 12 weeks where each week is a different topic, and then after the
each week,
so you do a whole week on, like you said, world religions or something like that, evangelism, whatever it is, and then after the 12 weeks, then you go for almost another 12 weeks in one go, and you put into practice what you've learned.
Nice.
In one go, and you go. Yeah. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2 countries. We went to Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. And actually, I mean, when I think about it, it was similar. We went to this place in Papua New Guinea, to this little tiny island called Manus Island. And no aircon, just a fan. Like 40 degrees. It was... I think we were one of the first missionaries to be sent there. There was one other missionary family there, but they were only on one part of the island, and I don't think they ventured out much. So we went to all the mini islands around this island, and some of the stuff we saw was insane. I'll tell you this quick story. We went to this tiny island called Wal, and when I mean tiny, I mean like... You've been to Central Festival, the mall, the shopping mall? That's the whole island.
Wow.
That's as big as it gets. So you walk around the island in like 20 minutes. And all the little kids on the island were missing fingers because they eat a lot of crab there, and they stick their hands in the holes, and they teach the kids how to stick their hands in the crab holes. And the crabs, when they're young enough, the crabs just slice their fingers off. So heaps of these kids have no fingers, but they're beautiful kids, you know, like... Just amazing. And when we get there, they had this tunnel of ferns and this bridge that went over this little river, and they were all singing on either side. And we had just rocked up to the beach, and they had this whole, almost like a landing where we walked through for like 10 minutes of all these people singing and dancing around us. I thought I had died and gone to heaven. Like it was... Like, if you could manufacture what heaven would look like as you're walking up to it, if it was like a perfect beach island, paradise, that's what it looked like. It was amazing. Wow. And so we're at this place called Wal, and we preached and taught and did a few things there for a little while. And then we went to this other island called Bouquet. And this place was the total opposite. As we drove there in the boat, it literally darkened like people going towards the gates of Mordor. Like the sky darkened. It was weird. And then when we get there, we find out that it's like a hub of witch doctors. There's heaps of really crazy demonic people there. And we did... Each time one person preaches, I actually got the short straw and had to preach on Bouquet. And it's probably like, it was a bigger island, bigger than Wal. And basically Wal was the way that Wal was kind of created was, it was somebody from Bouquet that got saved by a missionary, was about to get executed by the people on Bouquet. He fled the island in the dead of night and basically swam to Wal and started a new life there. And Wal has slowly, the Christians have come over to Wal. So it's and you can feel the difference of these two places.
Definitely.
And when I went to this place called Bouquet, we had like this lady that was saying that there's this thing that comes to her at night and tells her to come out to these mud flats and tells her to kill herself, and like it was so demonic, man. I've never experienced a whole island in the middle of nowhere. They had you know how we kind of get depressed and stuff from like watching too much screens and stuff. They don't have any of that, but they're all chained to something spiritual. Wow. And after preaching, and we saw a lot of salvations actually, we left, and we left in the dead of night, pitch black, and all of a sudden light comes all around our boat. Just every time we made a splash, it was like this blue, like sparks coming off a grinder, and it was phytoplankton.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah.
But this was the most I've ever seen it. It was insane. Like our whole boat was like splashing, like dead pitch black, and then our boat is lighting up every time it like bounces off the waves. It's like little fireworks in the water.
That's awesome.
And then we're looking behind us, and like the whole trail of this light behind the boat. It was insane. The most cool thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I remember saying to Laura, I was like, how crazy is it that we go to this demonic island and then we leave and this like incredible God thing happens with this phytoplankton, like showing like God's glory and all of it. It was just insane. That's kind of my experience with the missions, and similar to what you're saying, we were sent out, but we were sent out in one big chunk. But that sounds like a great way to do it. Lots of mini discipleship training sort of stuff. Yeah,
it definitely sounds similar. And so how did you guys share? Because you didn't have time to like do language or anything, so.
Yeah, so we shared the gospel. If we had translators, that we would say something and they would translate for us. And then if we didn't have, we always had translators. But before we do that, we kind of do like a skit for the gospel. So we do this, get some music out, and we sort of explain the gospel using these really powerful skits, which show sin entering humanity, and then Jesus coming in and kind of taking the punishment for us, and then breaking the chains of sin, and then we're kind of reconciled with Christ. So we have these skits that were really, they're powerful when I watch them. I'm the one doing them a lot of the time, but they're extraordinarily useful they're like a universal language, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone can watch Mr. Bean and he doesn't speak.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what he's doing. Same thing. It's using the universal language of dance, and not that I was a very good dancer, but we just use these skits. Very simple.
Yeah. I do want to see that though.
Yeah, I'll show you after this. I got not me doing it. I can show you a video of one of the skits. They're cool. Really cool. But so you guys obviously you can speak Thai, which is really cool. Is that part of the course that you did, like to implement the language?
No, we didn't learn any language at IGO. I mean, they did like a few, like a Thai pastor would come in and kind of explain the culture, do a little bit of language, but not much. Like, yeah.
So how did you find it? Did you go to the Thais and, I don't know, evangelize or preach or teach?
Yeah, while I was here in Thailand, we did, like, there was different opportunities where you would have ministry nights every week. And so you could go out and either help at like a children's home daycare type thing, teach English, or you could do street evangelism. And there was like a monk ministry. I was on the street evangelism one.
How do you find that in the Thai community? Because to be Thai is to be Buddhist a lot of the time. That's kind of their thinking. So the idea of changing religions is almost like losing my Thai culture. A lot. That's correct me if I'm wrong, but that's roughly the thinking behind it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's hard, and it's some pretty hard ground here to cut through. But I think now the most recent generation, probably the ones that are in college right now, I think it's shifting a lot, and they're not identifying as much with the Buddhism. So,
wow.
And I've heard that from other people that have been here for a long time. And I think there is a more openness, but for the most part, it's always been like to be Thai is to be Buddhist. And, it takes I would say it takes like a relationship for the most part. It's, in some places you can just kind of go evangelize and people come to faith really easily. But here I think it takes more time. And if you build a relationship with a Thai person, they're more open to hearing from you, and that also gives you a chance to learn their worldview. Because for me to take a gospel presentation that I would use in the U.S. and just import it here, it doesn't work because there's no concept of God or creation or any of that. And even sin is
that right? In the Buddhist worldview, they don't. How do they view creation? How do they view that we're here?
I think they kind of subscribe to the Big Bang.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
A little bit.
But they're spiritual. They believe in spirituality. Yeah. So they believe in the immaterial realm. Is that right?
Yeah, it's very spiritual, it's crazy. So Buddhism...
It's crazy.
Yeah, Buddhism it kind of shape shifts wherever it goes. The Buddhism in China looks different than it does here, and in Tibet it looks different. So, here, it's almost like an accessory to make kind of I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but getting good relationship with the spirits, kind of. And so I don't know if you've noticed since you're here, but there's these houses outside of like shopping malls or even houses. There's little houses, and that's a spirit house, and people do offerings to that.
Yes, yeah. No, I've seen that. We got some outside our condo. Yeah, and they got little smoke ornaments.
Yeah,
incense.
There's little people in there, incense, and most times they make offerings every day to honor. Sometimes there's two spirit houses, one for the land and one for the condo or the house.
Wow.
So there's two different spirits for both, and they're just trying to get in right standing with the spirits through that.
So if they already believe in spirits and you're going the Holy Spirit this and that as an evangelism tactic, would that be a way to connect with them? Because you're not arguing the idea of spirits. So you could bring in the Holy Spirit. Would that be one angle? But you don't want
possibly
them to add Christ to their religion, do you?
Yeah, no. So, I think it could be a bit of a slippery slope, and I think part of it could be a little bit hard to understand because the Holy Spirit, we're not scared of him. They're scared of all of the spirits, so they're always trying to make merit with the spirits so they don't hurt them. Hurt the Thai people. So...
they actually lay their little incense and sacrifices there so that the spirits treat them nicely.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you know how much of a bomb that is in my mind? And the reason so is because just down by a condo, there's a big place which has a whole lot of statues that people pray at.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a temple, but it's got lots of statues, Buddhist statues.
I think I've seen it where they sell this stuff, right?
No,
it's not.
They don't
okay.
sell it.
Not that
People
one.
go there for prayer, but it's not a temple. It's just got a series of Buddhist monuments.
Okay.
And one of them really caught my attention. So I walked through it out of curiosity to see what it looked like. One of them is this big jet black statue with white fangs coming out of its mouth and demonic wings behind it and blood dripping down from its teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to try and create an image of a demon, I couldn't do it better.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it looks like. And I'm thinking, they come down and they worship this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how deceived can you be to not recognize that that's a demon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like what you just said, they're hoping they don't.
Mm-hmm.
That basically, if I change the word spirit to demon, they're hoping that this demon doesn't torment them.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is. And pretty much everybody I've talked to has had an experience when they were a kid or maybe regularly, like that they've either seen a demon or a spirit or heard one or, had a dream or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's a very real thing here. And like coming from America to here, it was kind of like a bombshell for me because America's they're not that spiritual, right? They don't, even in the church, like if you start talking about this kind of stuff, people get super uncomfortable and they're like, we're so disconnected from it that it doesn't seem real. Yeah. But it's a very real thing here. And literally you can come here and feel it. Like if you go to a temple or to some of these places like you were describing, like Alyssa and I were up in Chiang Rai a few months ago. We went to the White Temple up there. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah,
it's like kind of famous.
Yeah.
And after we got out of there, it was just like we were both like lightheaded, dizzy, and we just started praying. And eventually it went away, but it was like very like tangible. Like we knew there was something dark going on.
That's a bizarre temple. Yeah. Out of all the temples, the White Temple, it's pretty new. Yeah. It's not like ancient.
Yeah.
So like 20 years old or even less than that maybe.
Yeah, I remember I went there the first time when I was at IGO. We went up there and like those hands coming out of the ground, it was like hell.
Yeah. Insane, right?
Yeah.
That's
and that just stuck out to me. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say this sort of stuff and you're saying that Westerners are very sort of disconnected to the spirit, which is what's funny here in Thailand is I went up to Doi Satep just about a month back, and we were with some friends from New Zealand. They were visiting us, and it was so interesting because we get to go into the temple area, and it's full of heaps of Westerners, all bowing down to these statues. And they're doing what the Buddhists, I think they, when in Rome kind of mindset.
Trying to be respectful.
Yeah, trying to be respectful. I'm going to bow down because I'm in a temple and I'm going to light some incense and say a prayer or whatever it is. But what's interesting is these people would never do that back home. They come here and they feel like they're getting sucked into it from their environment, which actually shows you how wishy-washy we can be.
Yeah, exactly.
What does James say? Like, tossed and turned by the waves. You're a double-minded man. And you're unstable in all your ways.
Yeah,
I'm so want to be grounded in Christ that I don't go to another nation and get sucked into their religion without thinking. And ironically, a lot of these people were probably atheists before they jumped on the plane.
Yeah,
and then they leave as a Buddhist.
And they come here and be ultra spiritual, right?
Yeah, and it's like, what? Isn't it weird that they also, there's an issue with Christianity, like every other religion they've got this respect for. Right. But the moment it's Christianity, it's you're an enemy. You can't be a Christian because Christians hate this and that, which is not true. But there's this enmity against the world with Christianity, and it makes sense biblically when you look into that sort of stuff. Yeah,
it's like I'm tolerant until
till
I'm
there's
not.
Jesus.
Yeah. And like, exactly. And I think it's because like Christianity does have some hard truth going on. Like there are things that are not permitted. And like with Buddhism, kind of anything goes, like I was saying earlier, like it just shape shifts into whatever you want it to be, kind of. So I think that's also why some of these Westerners come over here and they're just like, they're so enthralled with it. They're just like, this is amazing. And I feel so spiritual all of a sudden.
You know what's interesting that I've found with Buddhism is to get to the state of being enlightened, nirvana, you have to detach and you have to empty yourself and be nothing, basically. Empty your mind, empty your spirit, empty your heart, everything. Which is, it sounds fine when you say it like that, but then let's compare it to Christianity. You've got the God of the universe that actually is saying you are valued, and to be filled with the Spirit, not to be empty, but to be filled with the Holy Spirit. And value is determined by what somebody's willing to pay for you, right? So if you were to buy property and it's going to cost $1 million, that's now the value of the property. If somebody's going to pay for us as payment, God, who can create all things, an unlimited amount of resource, he can create an unlimited amount of gold, silver, payment, is still not enough to purchase you. He had to take something outside of this universe, which was Jesus, who's not in the universe, but outside. He had to take him and use him as payment, which means you're so valuable that everything in this universe and everything that could be in this universe is still not enough for your payment. That's the exchange that God made for us.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that if you compare the Buddhist mindset of you need to empty your value and you are worthless and you should become nothing, and that's how you create spirituality, it makes sense that Christianity is so against that, because it's saying you are a son and a daughter of the Most High, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. You were paid and purchased, which establishes your value by the blood of Jesus, which is more valuable than anything in this universe, because otherwise God would have used something in this universe to pay for us if he could. But that's still undermining our value. And he's just. So he can't do something untrue. He can't pay for us under market value. That doesn't make sense. So he literally, like, that's crazy thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I love how that the distinguishing difference between Christianity and Buddhism is the fact that you've got these, I believe, demons convincing you to believe that you're worth nothing, that you are nothing, and you need to think of yourself as nothing.
Right.
And Christ is saying, you are so valuable and precious. So valuable and precious. I, as the God of the universe, would die for you. That's how precious you are.
Yeah.
That's
It's
an
amazing.
insane thought.
Yeah.
And an insane difference. Like, as different you could possibly get two extremes.
Exactly.
From the east to the west.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. And the other thing Buddhism teaches is like desire is wrong. And so that's why, you know, monks are celibate, and they technically the monks aren't even supposed to wear shoes. You know, they're just supposed to deny themselves like entirely, because that's what Buddha did himself. Wow. And so Buddha himself he was married, and to reach nirvana, he left his wife and kid and went and started meditating.
That's what I mean. Like, isn't that that is the key to destroying your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And destroying all things that bring joy and goodness. And when I say good, I mean like in a good way. Not in a good way like a good time.
Exactly.
But in a healthy, spiritually fulfilling way. Yeah.
And like God, like I was saying, like God gave us some of these desires, and He says they're good.
Yeah.
But Buddhism teaches they're not.
It's interesting. I didn't know that about Buddha. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really interesting like documentary that I actually watched at IGO. I think BBC put it out, and it's all about his life story and
wow,
how everything happened.
Yeah, and he didn't want to be worshipped. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. So anybody that bows down in front of a statue of Buddha is technically not a true Buddhist. So, yeah, if you're
so ironic.
Yeah, like
they're screwing up their own religion.
Yeah. So, but we all want this image, right? We all want, and somehow that gives us this sense of control or something. Like, if we have an image, it's right there in front of us. We can feel it, see it.
I've got a theory that I'm pretty confident in that's true regarding the image, and the reason that demons have taken on like that image that statue that I was describing. That's basically a demon. Mm-hmm. That in the beginning, you've got God and you've got Satan, and Satan wants to be like God. Creation worships God. So Satan goes, I want to be better than God, so I want God to worship me. Mm-hmm. That's never going to happen. God creates mankind in His image. The closest thing he can get to God worshipping Satan is to have the image bearers, the image and likeness of God, to worship Satan, which is us. He wants us to worship him. He craves worship. And that Satan creates all these different religions around the world, one being Buddhism. Mm-hmm. And you get these images of demons, basically, and people worshipping it.
Yeah.
And it's like God. It looks like God worshipping Satan.
Yeah.
Because they're image bearers, and same image and likeness as humans. And humans are worshipping these things. And that's the ultimate mockery that Satan can think of to screw with God.
Yeah.
To be like,
exactly.
They're worshipping me. It looks like you're worshipping me because these people look like you. You're in the same image and likeness as the Creator. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and it's crazy the spiritual stuff behind it. So, after I go, I went back to the U.S., married Alyssa.
Yeah.
And then we came over here.
Who's awesome, by the way. Yeah. Shout out to Alyssa.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we can dive into that more.
Yeah.
But diving into this, what I'm talking about right now, like after we got married, we knew, like even before we started dating, like we had very intentional conversations about where we're both going in life. We prayed about it a lot, and before we ever started. So by the time we started, we like knew we were aligned, spiritually, and where we wanted to go. Our dreams and visions for life were the same. And so it didn't take really that long for us to get married. So
it's good, I think. Some people waste their time overthinking it.
Yeah.
If you got somebody that loves God, loves the Lord, loves you, and is going to be an asset in the sense of strengthening you, your character, and drawing you closer to God, both as a team, you should be snapping that person up.
Yeah, exactly. They won't last long if they're good people.
They won't last long.
So, yeah, that was my thought. So it didn't take me long. We dated for 5 months, and we got engaged, and we're married 3 months later, so a total of like 8 months.
Nice.
And then a year after we got married, like, soon into our marriage, we felt like, yeah, God is definitely, like, missions is there, and, like, God is calling us. Like, we know this. And so then we started taking steps to, just praying intentionally about it. Like, one time I remember Alyssa telling me, like, we just need to pray intentionally for God to show us where we need to go and what we need to do. And so we started praying intentionally. And it's been kind of a theme, over our marriage, like, God just like drops bombs on us and speaks so clearly. Like without the shadow of a doubt, like what we're supposed to do. And so we started praying intentionally.
Can I ask a little bit about that?
Mm-hmm.
When you say God says stuff really clearly to you, without a shadow of a doubt, what is that? How do we understand, just for myself and our listeners?
Yeah. Well, it's happened a lot of different ways. So in this instance of us coming to Thailand the first time, I'll just give you this story. Like, we were praying intentionally about it, about where God wanted us to go. But backing up from that, I think for us to hear God's voice, we have to be aligned with his heart. Like, if we're misaligned and we're not fully surrendered, and we're not like, because that's what it is to be a Christian, right? When you become a Christian, you surrender your right to anything. I'm not going to, like, I'm surrendering my right of where I want to live, of what business I want to do, everything, like all of my desires. And so if we're actually serious about it and truly surrender, and we're aligned with God's heart, and his heart is for the world, right? He wants everybody to know him.
Yeah.
And so if we catch that vision, that fire, I think we get fully aligned with him. And so then we started just, praying intentionally about it. And God started moving in my heart. I didn't want to come back to Chiang Mai. It was hot. I don't like heat. So it was
You've
like...
been more or less burned from the experience.
Yeah. Thailand was kind of baked out of me, I guess. So. But anyways, that's the amazing thing. Like, God started working it back into my heart. And I was just like, one morning before work, I started at ungodly hours in the morning where I worked. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm
Is
just...
this the RV place?
RV place. So anyways, I was not used to that. But anyway, I would have my devotions in my car in the morning and just spend some time in prayer before I go into the factory. And I was just praying one morning. I was like, God, I just want to go back to Chiang Mai, Thailand. Like, he had worked it into Alyssa's heart and my heart, and we just had this heart for Asia, and then specifically Chiang Mai. And later that day, on the way home from work, I look at my phone and I get an email from somebody, and they're literally inviting us to come to Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Really?
And join their team. And so, bam, it couldn't be really more clear. Like, God had, like...
That's exactly what happened to us.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, God aligns your heart with his, and you start praying what he wants you to pray.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity comes. And I think it just takes a really intentional prayer life.
I love that. God basically emailed you.
Yeah. Right. And so, that's one of the ways. And like,
can I ask something? How do you know that it is God, though? I mean, sometimes when I'm like, I'm looking for a blue car, and then all of a sudden I only see blue cars, like a lot of blue cars, more than I'd ever, like, I'm recognizing what I'm looking for. How do I know that I'm not looking into it and it's not God? Or is it like a heart thing? Like, it's kind of, you've got this feeling and this draw to this area. It's not really you. Like, it's this pull that's outside of you. Is it something like that? Kind of.
And we can, the awesome thing is God's given us his word. What does God's word say? And
Lots.
Exactly. So it's not like, Chiang Mai, Thailand isn't really in the Bible.
What?
But, I think, one of the ways I have learned most recently on that is like, I was talking to a guy here in Thailand, and he was saying, just ask God for a rhema word.
A what?
Rhema.
A rhema? What's that?
I'm going to have to look this up. I can't remember exactly what it is.
Okay.
So you might have to edit this. But I'll look this up.
RHEMA.
RHEMA. So it's
a spoken word utterance, particularly a word of God that is personally applied to a specific situation or need. Oh, it's a Greek word, rhema. Interesting.
Yeah, and so it's something kind of super personal to you, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy kind of taught me to, like, he had one passage of scripture that he showed me, and he was like, take this passage and just ask God to speak a rhema word to you from it. And anytime I've ever done that, and it may sound crazy, but I will literally, like most recently, the past couple of months, with everything that's been going on, I'm up in the middle of the night and I just go down and read my Bible. And I'm like, God, I don't know where I'm going to open my Bible to, but I need a rhema word from you right now.
Interesting.
And like every time I do that, it's something so clear.
Wow.
That, yeah, it's undeniable. And it speaks directly into my situation.
We had a rhema word, I suppose, with this podcast, I think. So when we first were thinking about doing the podcast, we heard the Lord and we're like, is this you, Lord? Make it really clear. I went to my pastor and said, I think God's telling us to get testimonies heard on our podcast. What do you think? And he goes, oh, who are you going to do it with? I said, oh, actually, there's this other guy. His name was Joel as well, so 2 Joels. And I was like, this other guy, Joel, he's been praying about it, and we're going to do it together. And he's like, oh, okay, and what's it going to be about? And I said, well, it's going to be, like how these days you get people that have these crazy dreams and visions and these awesome testimonies about God just staring them here and there, just like these days. It's and we just feel like these testimonies are well worth being heard. And he goes, that is freaky that you said that. I'm like, what do you mean that's freaky? And he goes, because you said there's 2 Joels doing it, and in Joel chapter 2, verse 23 or something like that, says, in the latter days I will pour out my spirit, and people will dream dreams and see visions, and there'll be miraculous signs and wonders, and it was like exactly what I described.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would be a rhema word right
exactly.
there.
Yeah. You can't get much more clear than that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and the other thing is, like, you surround yourself with people of God. So, most recently, when we felt like God was speaking to us to move back to the U.S., it happened to both Alyssa and I separately. God just shook us to our core, and it was just in one of those moments where you could just like feel like, this is God. This is not anything inside of me.
Alyssa hears in a similar way to you?
You all the time, or in this one instance?
Both?
I'd say God speaks to us fairly similar.
Yeah. But
in this instance, yes, it was like the same. Like, God just like spoke clearly to me, what are you doing in Chiang Mai, Thailand?
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, like this is God speaking to me.
Yeah.
And I need to listen right now. And like I had to literally, I was in the gym.
Yeah.
Just like kind of praying, listening. And I had to sit down. Like, it was just like the presence of God was very real there.
Wow, that's cool.
So, and then
we should get into kind of that story that you had told us about, like why you came back to Thailand in the first place.
We should definitely back up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Because this was, you did quite a few years here in Chiang Mai with this school, right?
So with IGO, it was 8 months.
8 months, and you went back to the US.
Yeah, that was in 2016.
And you got married.
Yeah.
Back in the US. So you met Alyssa here.
Yes.
With that school.
Mm-hmm. She was volunteering with the IGO organization at like a kids' daycare.
Oh yeah. And then you guys went back to the US, got hitched, and then you heard the Lord at the RV place say to go back to Thailand again.
Yeah.
What was he saying? Like to do anything specific, or just to go back to Thailand?
Originally, we kind of had a vision to do something in coffee. Like the people that invited us, they kind of gave us a few different things that they saw that were a need here. And one of them was a coffee shop ministry at Ratchapat University.
I've noticed that in Chiang Mai, all these awesome different ministries here. Like, yes, there's evangelists and there's preachers and teachers, but there's these wacky ones that are awesome. Like, why are we not doing more of that in the West? These business entrepreneur
like intentional
style. And they go in and they kind of make their coffee shop or their business about God. There's that other one, Expat Homes, which is a lot of Christians working there, but they're really intentional about their Christianity, I hear.
Yeah,
I haven't I've met them like once with a friend, but I haven't sat down with them. But I should get them on the show.
Definitely. Yeah, we had the opportunity to kind of do life with them for about 6 months, and it was awesome. Like, they're amazing people and very genuine and very intentional with what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so we were backing up to
God calling you back to Thailand the second time.
Yeah.
First time was your original missions trips where you had no AC.
Yeah.
And then you went back to the States, worked in an RV manufacturing place. Then God calls you back to the States to potentially work in a coffee Christian ministry.
Yeah, and just when we came back, we were like, okay, we're gonna hone in on language. Yeah, we're gonna explore this opportunity with the coffee shop, but our main kind of focus was language, and then Alyssa was also doing some secretary work for the organization we were with. So those were our two things up front, and then we were gonna, shoot off into this other stuff later. And so, yeah, we dove headlong into language, started learning it. And then as we started looking around in Chiang Mai, the coffee shop or the coffee industry just like exploded. Like from when I was here in 2016 to when I got back in 2018, like it just went to a whole other level. Like so many shops and stuff was just next level. Like very high quality.
Awesome.
And like the shops, like the architecture was insane, and people were investing like millions into it. And so as I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that might not be the wisest business as mission business here, because it's going to take a lot of upfront costs, and it's going to be hard to sell that much coffee. And so we kind of pivoted, and we still wanted to stay in the coffee industry. I still loved it. And one day I told Alyssa, well, if I'm going to work in coffee, I should probably get to know some coffee farmers. So I'm just going to find a coffee farmer. And so she's like, how are you going to do that? And so I was like, I'm just going to pray, and I'm just going to start looking around. So I started looking around on Facebook, and somehow found this guy. He was from Omkhoi province, or Omkhoi. It's still in Chiang Mai province. But got in touch with him, and a couple days later we went out to his farm and just really loved his coffee and built a relationship with him and started buying it. And then after about 2 years, some things changed, and we again just felt like our time here was coming to a close, and God was taking us back to the U.S. for something. And there was different things in there that caused that move, but yeah, it was very clear to us that we needed to go back. And so we kept that relationship with this farmer, and as we just exported that coffee to the U.S.
Wow.
And started selling it there.
Yeah.
Or trying to.
Yeah.
It's a hard market to get into. Like no matter how you do it, coffee's just kind of hard to.
Yeah, I can
it's
imagine.
a slow start.
We've considered doing that for the Jesus Magnet. I remember that was one of the first things you and I spoke about. Is we have been considering setting up a Jesus Magnet coffee distribution. I'd need to look at some of the laws before we set that up, but we have this one lady that's keen to sell us, to be our distributor, and create Jesus Magnet coffee.
Nice.
But we have tried to get into a few churches, because that would be the way to go. I think if you can get a church to buy your coffee, and if it goes towards like a ministry, so it's killing two birds with one stone in a good way. Some ministries getting a bit of profit to be able to continue ministering wherever they are, and then you're creating a profit and able to continue ministering yourself, and
it's really cool because that's kind of how our church supports us.
Through the coffee.
Yeah, so the coffee shop in the church is what supports us.
That is really cool.
So, coffee is just like a tool that it's just versatile. Like, you can use it in so many different ways, and that's why I loved it.
So, you're still exporting coffee to your church back in
Well,
the US?
they don't. No, I don't do that anymore. Like, the exporting costs got crazy, and the coffee price also in Thailand got super inflated.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't make sense to export it anymore.
Okay.
So, but no, the church our home church, our sending church, it's just I think they get their beans from a local coffee shop. But it's through all of those sales that they support missionaries and different ministries through it. So,
yeah, that's cool. So it's not necessarily just coming from the tithes and the offerings. It's coming from business, which is really cool. I think that's a brilliant way to support missionaries. We kind of do the same thing with our rental properties. We got these people that are atheists and agnostics and all that, and it's hilarious because they're actually supporting Christian ministries.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
so
crazy.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came, you kind of did the coffee thing for a little while, went back to the States.
Yeah. So we were here
you heard the Lord to say go back to the States again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
it was clear both times?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty clear we needed to go back to the U.S. and kind of regroup, and And so we lived here from 2018 to 2021, like the end of 2018 to the middle of 2021, so about 2.5 years. And got the language pretty good, was conversational, and we're really just kind of getting started. But, we needed to go home, and then we got plugged into another church, and that's the church that sent us here. And it was relationships that we built those 2.5 years that actually brought us back here this time.
True. Wow. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So did you move towns? Or you just decided to attend a different church this time around?
Yeah. So, shoot, I don't know how to go into that.
You don't need to.
Okay. So, we actually did live in a different town for a period of time when we went back. Some people were super generous. They were going to go serve in a different state, and they didn't let us just watch their house. Keep the grounds while they go do ministry. And so we did that for about 1.5 years, and we were in northern Indiana, and right by the Michigan border. So that's where we live. It's right in there. And so then when we moved back to Michigan, we joined a church there in Sturgis, Michigan called Radiant Life Church. And just fell in love with the place and got a part of us, a men's small group, and God just started speaking to us. And when we moved back to America from Thailand, I felt like we weren't done, and we had other people say, you guys aren't done, you'll probably be back. Just random people. There's one Australian guy that came to our house, didn't even know us, and I think they were buying something from us when we were moving. And he was like, I can't even remember exactly what he said to me, But he was just like, yeah, I don't think you're done here.
Wow.
Something to that effect. And so
I'll just say I don't think you're done here.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Because the next part of your story is quite wild, right?
Yeah.
It's the third time around coming back to Thailand is interesting, to say the least. And when this only happened 8 months ago, I suppose, within the last year.
When it first started would have been, I'll just go when God first started working Thailand back into our hearts. So like I said, I didn't feel like I was done in missions yet. And so just praying through that, and then Alyssa started feeling that way too. And very clearly, that's kind of her story to share, but God clearly spoke to her through a sermon at church.
And just for the listeners, Alyssa does have an episode on the Jesus Magnet, so just search up Alyssa, and you'll be able to see that.
Yeah, don't miss it.
So you'll get the other half,
right?
The better looking half, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thankfully this isn't really a video podcast. So.
Yeah, my wife always says Joel's got a face for radio.
The brutal truth, right? So yeah, God spoke clearly to her and just worked that back into her heart, and we just went to our pastor and we're like, this is what we think God is saying, going back to Thailand, and he affirmed it. He was like, yeah, that really sounds like God calling you back. And in my men's small group, those guys were getting around me and just reaffirming that. And so we just all started praying about it. And our pastor was like, yeah, let's just pray about it and see what happens. And so then that was the summer of 2023.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the fall, November, December, we got a message from one of our friends here that said they had a problem. Their daughter had gotten pregnant. She was super young and wanted to get an abortion, and she wasn't really in a place to take care of a baby. And so we were like, okay, we'll do whatever we can to help, and if there's an opportunity for us to adopt, we'll pursue that. We'll look into it if that's what it comes to. We'll try to do whatever we can.
It's such an awesome heart to have, immediately to be like, you know how we were talking earlier about the value on us that God has installed, that you and Alyssa recognized how valuable this unborn baby was, to do everything you can to give it a home, to love it,
Yeah.
That's just, it warms my heart to hear that.
Yeah.
Because today we got, it's so easy to discard babies.
It's amazing what great lengths God will go to for one life. I mean, quite possibly the entire reason we came to Thailand for 4 years was for this child.
Yeah.
That's how much God values life.
Yeah.
And it's easy to be pro-life, but it's a whole lot harder to do something about that.
Yeah.
So
put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly.
Right? Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think God just, he did what he needed to do in our hearts to get us to that point. I mean, this isn't a story about how amazing we are. It's God moving in our hearts and really us just following him.
Yeah.
And so he opened the way, and so we walked through the open door. And so, when we heard about this situation, and then it was about a week that we didn't know really what was going to happen. We had given them all this information that we'll try to do whatever it takes, and we were just praying because it seemed like the heart's really hard towards the baby, and it was just like a problem, not really a life. And so basically the whole family, the grandma was Christian, but she was the only Christian. And all of her sisters wanted the abortion to happen. So all of the great aunts of this child wanted this abortion to happen. And the child's grandpa wanted the abortion to happen.
Wow.
And so thankfully the grandma was really courageous and tried to find help.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we encouraged her to not sign any abortion papers that, as Christians we're passionate about keeping babies alive and seeing it through. And so then she went and talked to her daughter and her...
Can I ask how old this girl was that was pregnant?
She was 15.
15, wow.
Mm-hmm. So, just a really broken, sad situation for her to be in. And so then, she went and talked to her. And she was like, yeah, okay, I'll carry this baby if this family steps up.
Wow.
And so when we heard that, we were just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it was actually happening.
Yeah.
And so now it was actually really time to put our money where our mouth was. So, so we started looking into it, how does this work? Can we do this internationally? That didn't seem like a really good plan because it could take a really long time for the adoption to happen. And where is this baby going to go in the meantime? And there was this whole thing of you can't really choose the child.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
But you just saying yes to being part of the child's life and things like that, that actually, she never had the abortion, did she?
No.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, she was super brave, and I'm just so glad she didn't make that decision because she can look back and have there's going to be some regrets, but there's not going to be regrets regarding that child. She knows she did the right thing there, and she got to see this baby. And so then we were able to take care of the baby after she was born for about 5 months. And then, due to Thai adoption laws, you can't choose a child, and it's to protect from human trafficking, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of frustrating for situations like this. You have good people that want to, do the right thing, but there's just no pathway to it. So, she will be adopted internationally at some point. She's
really?
not.
So she will be going outside of Thailand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She will be going to a good family.
Yeah.
At some point.
So.
Yeah. Are you able to remain in contact with her?
I actually saw her 4 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
Just from a distance a little bit. And it's just, it was great to see her.
Yeah.
But it's also a little bit, tugs at your heart because
you'd kind of see her as your daughter.
Yeah.
That's where you had solidified in your heart, this is going to be my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard to let her go.
Mm-hmm. And so, but we're just thankful that she's in a really safe place. We have nothing but confidence where she's at now.
Where is she? Is she with her grandma? Or?
No, she's in a home just waiting to be adopted.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a group foster home, and they take really good care of her. And so we're thankful for that. But
that's interesting. I mean, the whole process of going through all those hoops for you and Alyssa and Malachi to go through moving countries again. Mm-hmm. Basically to preserve life, not necessarily for this baby to go with you, but so this baby could live. If you hadn't have done that, would have been an abortion for sure. I like how God used your obedience and your love just to, give this little child a chance. And you know what's crazy about abortion? I was reading up on this not that long ago, that when a mother has an abortion, they get these, the baby leaves cells inside the mother, and they're actually the child's cells, their DNA, not the mother's. And when the mother has any fatal cancers or any of these really crazy sicknesses that would normally take out the mother, these cells from the baby fight for the mother. So that these, which is insane, because you get these, whether they're born or not, but the unborn actually still fight for the life of the mother. How amazing is that, scientifically?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like how God puts like a special blessing on mothers. But that still happens even with abortions. But
yeah, it's so undeserving, and yeah, it's a crazy picture there. Yeah, for sure. And
so what's the plan now? You guys picked up this child, looked after her for 5 months, then brought her to this orphanage.
It's not an orphanage, thankfully.
Orphanage.
Yeah.
What is it? Just a foster home.
Yeah, it's like a group foster home, and she's just there for, I guess, as long as it takes for her to get matched with the family.
Yeah.
And as I was talking to my mentor about this situation back in the States, he was saying, I was talking to him about this, and I was like, so I had option A, which was me adopting this child, and I thought, that's what was going to happen, and like God was going to make a way where there was no way.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, and then I was like, well, maybe we had heard the mom maybe wanted to step up again too, because she was kind of showing some interest in her daughter, and so we were like, we're not going to stand in your way. If you want to come try and be a mom, you can.
Yeah.
And so she actually came up and lived with us for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And
great.
Tried to take care of her baby, and it was apparent very early that she wasn't in a place to do it. It just was not working out, and which was super sad to see. Like you could just, we'd have talks with her in our living room, and she was just so broken, and so she was also worried about her daughter, where she would go, and because we had told her, like, it's not possible for us to do this. Like, we thought there might be a way of us doing it, but because we had heard of cases, like very special cases that it's happened, like a private adoption.
Yeah,
but
you'd think that would be easier if it was the mother of the baby that was saying, and even the grandparents and everything saying, we would like this family to adopt our daughter.
Yeah.
You'd think that would make it easier, eh? Like that's obviously not trafficking.
Right. And like, we would be willing to be vetted and all of that. And there's so many families that would be willing to do that.
Yeah.
But there's just not that pathway open. So, but anyways, as I was talking to my mentor about it one time, I was like, man, and then the mom could possibly step into the picture and take her back. Well, that didn't work out either. And now I'm like, now I got to settle for option C. I had option A and B that I thought looked really good. Now I got to like figure something else out. And he was fun. He said, that's funny, because he has a saying that he always says is like, we're always looking at our options A and B, but God is actually looking for option F. Like, he's got something totally different in mind. He doesn't give us the whole picture.
Yeah.
And we have all these assumptions. And what God asks of us, we're just supposed to be obedient in our little part. Like, God asked me to step in for this child. He didn't tell me what the end result was going to be. He just needed me to do my part. Yeah. And I'm so thankful I could do that. And it's kind of heart-wrenching that we weren't able to, see it through to what we expected.
Yeah.
But, God has great plans for this child. And what my mentor was also telling me was like, God doesn't go to this much bother to not see it through.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
It's also a life that was saved. You know, like, it seems like, I mean, the price of your plane tickets and stuff like that, you know, a pretty cheap price to save a child. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I read somewhere that in New Zealand, they actually have a value price on life, whether they, like if somebody's held for ransom overseas by another country, and they're saying, like, you can purchase, like, if somebody's kidnapped or whatever it is, each citizen actually has a value on their life. If it's more than, I think it's something like 1.6 million, something like that.
Seems pretty cheap.
If it's more than that, they basically will not pay.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't remember the exact number. But your price, what, 10 grand, something like that?
It's not much. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what a win.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's God 100% was in that. You know, if that was, you're talking life and death here. And working on multiple people's hearts as well. The women that go through abortions, statistically, they have this almost a haunted mindset for the rest of their life. A what if, did I do the right thing, an echo of this child that once was. And you made it possible for this, and that normally causes severe depression. And yeah, it even statistically, those that have abortions struggle to have kids later in life, which you kind of fall under a curse almost.
Yeah.
Where this lady, this young 15-year-old, had this chance to be a mother, and then if she took that away, in the sense of, like, had the abortion, later on in life would be this, I can't get pregnant now because it's an unnatural thing to have happened. Yeah. And your body now auto-aborts often after going through an abortion, and doesn't recognize the fetus, the baby, and it's horrible. Yeah. So, I mean, you opened up several doors, I think, God working through you. Not only a child was saved, but I believe that God can use the continuous working through the mother as well. Yeah. And the value of life, and how God, God created such an awesome avenue for him to shine through this whole family. Like you said, one Christian in the family, the grandmother. This little child's she's a seed. Yeah. For sure in that family. Yeah. To show Christ and Christ's love. Like, it was because of these Christians that you're alive, because of your grandma was a Christian, because of this random Christian family on the other side of the world that tried to adopt you. Because of that, you're alive. Like, she 100% is going to learn that one day, and she basically is going to thank God. Yeah. You'd have to. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. The only logical explanation to any of that. Yeah. And so we're just praying that she gets into a Christian family, and yeah. That's awesome, man. Like, I think, man, I love how God uses you in these different chapters. Each time you're in Thailand, it's a new thing. Yeah. And the Bible says that, I come to do a new thing. Yeah. So, Skyler, what is on the horizon? What's happening next? What do you feel the Lord's saying to do? So, now that, that situation's taken care of, we feel like that was what God had us here for this time in Thailand. And he spoke very clearly to both Alyssa and I about it. And, we sought him. And it wasn't just like, that day at the gym I heard him
And then we were just like, okay, we're out of here. We took like a week to pray about it. We had our parents praying about it. My mentor was praying about it. And literally every day, I'm telling you, everybody out there listening, if you want to hear from God, just ask him. He's going to show you so clearly. Like, it's a dangerous prayer. And so just day after day, like I'm not even lying, like every day for like 5 days, God just reconfirmed that.
Yeah.
And like one day, it was like, it couldn't get any more clearer than this. So Alyssa was reading in her devotions in the Old Testament. I was reading in the New, and she had told me on this day, like, what she read. And normally I have my devotions in the morning, but that day I can't remember what happened, but I didn't. And so then I read my Bible in the evening. And so I was reading in Hebrews, I believe it was. I have it written down here. But she was reading in, let me just look at it. Yeah, I was reading in Hebrews, and she was reading in Isaiah. And she had told me, like, what she read, like it was like God was talking in Isaiah about not hardening your heart to what God says, you know, and to enter his rest. And it was in Isaiah 30. Starting in verse 1, "What sorrow awaits my rebellious children, says the Lord. You make plans that are contrary to mine. You make alliances not directed by my spirit, thus piling up your sins. For without consulting me, you have gone down to Egypt for help. You have put your trust in Pharaoh's protection. You have tried to hide in his shade. But by trusting Pharaoh, you will be humiliated, and by depending on him, you will be disgraced." So that was 1 to 3, and then in verse 9, it says that these people are stubborn rebels who refuse to pay attention to the Lord's instructions.
Wow.
And then in verse 15 it says, "This is what the sovereign Lord, the Holy One of Israel, says. Only in returning to me and resting in me will you be saved. In quietness and confidence is your strength, but you would have none of it."
Oh.
So then she shared that with me in the morning. Then in Hebrews, I'm just like, okay, that's amazing. Like, enter God's rest and don't be stubborn and not hear his voice. So in my reading, Hebrews 3, starting in verse 7, "That is why the Holy Spirit says, today when you hear his voice, don't harden your hearts as Israel did when they rebelled."
Wow.
"When they tested me in the wilderness, there your ancestors tested and tried my patience, even though they saw my miracles for 40 years. So I was angry with them, and I said, their hearts always turn away from me. They refuse to do what I tell them. In my anger, I took an oath. They will never enter my place of rest."
Whoa. All right.
So, two completely different passages of Scripture, like one in the Old Testament, one in the New, saying the same thing to Alyssa and I, and it was just like, whoa. Like, you can't get much more clear than that.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what's waiting for us in the U.S. We don't know if we'll be in Michigan or Colorado or somewhere else. But we want to stay open to whatever God has for us. And I wouldn't say we have a clear answer yet as to where exactly we'll be, but we feel like we need to go back and just kind of
reset,
regroup, and it's been a bit of a year, and so just kind of like, you know, there's times where you just need to take a step back and just kind of be normal, I guess. I don't know. I want to say that carefully because, like, a lot of people can hear that, no, well, then I'm just going to be normal. And I don't think that's what God's asking us to do 100% of the time. I think there's things that he wants us to do, and there's also times when we just rest.
I think God can recognize burnout as well. Like he's like, you need to do this. You might not recognize that you're feeling at the end of your capacity, and he's like, he's aware.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's good to recognize. I like what you said about the dangerous prayers. Years ago, I did a devotion, and it was called Dangerous Prayers. It's on that Bible app, the main Bible app, whatever it's called. I think it's just called
YouVersion.
YouVersion, yeah. And yeah, it was called Dangerous Prayers. I think it's been edited to something else now. But it talks about praying that prayer and going, Lord, lead me and show me where to go, as long as it's safe, as long as it's comfortable, as long as I can see all where we're going.
It doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah. And he uses, in the devotion, the author uses the story of Narnia as an example. So, have you seen The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
The movie?
The movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the book by C.S. Lewis. And C.S. Lewis has this character, these three characters really. One's Lucy, who's this little girl, and she stumbles into the magical world of Narnia where you got talking animals and stuff like that. And she's talking to Mr. Beaver. And she says to Mr. Beaver, who's kind of explaining who Aslan is. And Aslan is the Lion of Judah. He is the God, the Jesus-like figure in Narnia. And she says to Mr. Beaver, I'm scared to meet a lion. Is he safe? And Mr. Beaver responds, and I love this response that C.S. Lewis wrote. He said, Aslan? Of course he's not safe, but he's king. And that resonates with me with missions and with what you've been doing over the last, 5 years, I suppose, total, where God's gone, you're going to America, you're going to Thailand, you're going to be doing this, working in this person's heart, and no AC, you're going to cook for 8 months straight. And then you're going to, this little girl that she is going, I've got serious plans for her in her life, and she needs to be born. He is outside of time, and he's going to ask you to do things that are uncomfortable, where you don't fully understand why. You could have gone, why, Lord? Why did you bring me all the way from America to Thailand? Clearly, I thought we would be getting a daughter out of this. We're walking away with nothing. Why, God? That could be your attitude. But God's like, it's my plans, not your plans. I'm king. And yes, you were pretty uncomfortable throughout all of it, but you obeyed him, and you followed his word, and you followed his voice. And a lot of the time, man, Thailand's crazy. It's pretty dangerous to drive around here compared to the West. It's safe? No. And I think what you and Alyssa have both done is stepping out in faith, regardless of your own sort of saying, Lord, where do you want us? We're just going to say yes, and that's such a good attitude to have. And it's cool to hear the whole story. We've been friends for a few months now, and I've heard tiny bits and pieces here and there. And now, and you guys are planning to go back to the States, and Laura and I are planning to visit you guys at some point, which would be cool. And God's not done with you yet. Yeah.
Yeah, amen to that.
He's no way done with you yet. Do you foresee missions in the future? More missions?
Alyssa and I have talked about this a lot. We'll definitely be involved in some capacity, and whether that's supporting missionaries, from the States, or, maybe someday we'll be back somewhere in some other country. I have no idea, but yeah, just
based on the pattern, I wouldn't be surprised. If you
yeah, exactly.
Back in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, that I worked with a little bit here, he was like, yeah, if you ever come back for like the 4th or 5th time, whatever it is, you'll be welcome to join us again, like to work together. So,
I'm into that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're definitely going to stay involved in the Great Commission, because we're all called to be involved in that. Like, there's no Christian that is escaping that. So, yeah. And I think it's not a matter of, are we all called into this thing? It's a matter, I think, where we're called. Some of the people are the senders, some are the goers. And, I forget who it was, either John Piper or David Platt. He said, you either send, go, or be disobedient.
Wow. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And so it doesn't get any more clear cut than that. And I think it's so true. And I just think it's important that we never put each other on a pedestal. Whether that's the goer, like, he's no greater than the sender. Like, we're all working together to get this work done.
Yeah.
And yeah, as long as we all have that same heart, I know God's going to use all of us.
That's awesome.
Can I go take a leak real quick? Or were you going to shut it down?
Yeah, well, thank you, Skyler, for coming on the Jesus Magnet podcast. That was such an epic time. Hope our listeners really enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on the Jesus Magnet. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Jesus Magnet podcast. If you enjoyed this, make sure that you connect with us. Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and if you want to support us, be a member of our coffee club, Jesus Magnet Coffee Club. See you next time on the Jesus Magnet.